Here's the upside, I would say, to being a young man that looking back now as a somewhat seasoned veteran, I've had a couple summers under my belt. It's safe to say that the one upside that you have as a guy, regardless, especially as a young man, is that you have the luxury of potential, right? Suitors are going to be banking on your potential. When I was a young guy, I was a busted little cutie, I guess you could say. And a lot of the women that I would date, even as a young guy, like I didn't really have anything. I didn't have anything to my name. I had no funds, no money. I was using the same blue mustard stained shirt. I was a bum in many respects, right? I was a bum. But I had character. I had grit. I had a little bit of charisma. I had something to me. There was something brewing internally within me. And I think they could see that and sense that. And even to this day, um, like one of my exes from when I was younger still had looked for me for like 10 plus years, even after she had a husband and kids. And it's like, oh shit, this is what the whole concept of the alpha widow is, right? Is that you're like a ghost. You're never far away. But anyhow, so that was the thing that she and many other women past that were banking on me. But this is the issue: is that that could only take you so far. Um, if you don't actualize yourself, if you don't take advantage of your opportunities, if you don't pounce on the moments, if you don't take advantage of time, then you run the risk of being ran over, right? Of being lapped by dudes with pot bellies and love handles. So it's like if you want to go the route and let these guys beat you, then this is what happens, right? You don't take advantage of your opportunities. You don't pounce on them. You take any and every opportunity kind of as another option, right? That another your moment will come. It's not right now, but it'll soon be so. And what happens is, unfortunately, like you do end up expiring. And I think for a lot of guys, 25, 26 is about the last time you're going to see a girl banking on your potential. I don't see it going past that, because then it's like, well, what have you done? You've clearly graduated high school several years ago. Uni should have been done by the time you were 21. So you got 4 or 5 years to figure out who the hell you are, what you're made of, and putting yourself out there, right? And so if by 25, 26, you're just an Uber driver or you're door dashing, then you might be in big trouble, right? Like I said, I've been there. I'm speaking from experience. Someone that was kind of lost in the world and didn't really have a path and didn't really have much to hold on to. But I was grasping for something. I was holding onto some branches on the way down. I was trying to find a way. And so yeah, it's a frustrating time, right? But it is those moments where you're just like, damn, this is what I have to figure out what I'm made of. What am I really made of? Am I just a loser? And like I have plenty of examples of people that didn't make it, that decided to go the route of I'm gonna smoke a bunch of weed and I'm gonna scroll on my phone and have wishful thinking and think that I'm somehow gonna become a millionaire just by sitting around and wishing for it. And those people are by the wayside. Nobody asks about them. No one knows what they're up to. They're a nobody. And so that's the thing. If you're a young guy and you continue with that mentality that you still got time, you're in big trouble. You're in big trouble, buddy. And I'm here to tell you that this is your wake up call. If you didn't have a father to whip you up into shape, if you didn't have older siblings or an uncle or someone to kind of tell you this is what you need to do, you need to get outside, you need to get out there and find a way, then like I said, you run the risk. And look, there's something to the idea that perhaps, okay, what happens if I'm past 25, 26 and I still haven't found a way? I mean, obviously you could figure it out, but the thing is all the bad habits have accumulated over time, and now they're starting to show, right? You're getting fat, you're getting old, you're I mean, you're not so cute anymore, right? And the reality is, interestingly enough, stress, uh, these kind of rites of passage, right? They leave markings on the body in a good way, psychologically speaking. I think that's the reason why a lot of dudes now don't stand a chance. I see a lot of guys, even older men, and I'm just like, bro, I want nothing to do with your pudgy ass, because it's like, what have you been through psychologically, right? Because the thing is, you have to keep in mind is like psychologically, all of the things that you go through get imprinted on you physiologically, right? On your face, right? And so you see the people, you could, if you pay close attention, you will see this. There's plenty of people that you look at their face and you know, man, this guy's been through something. I want to talk to this guy. I want to see what he's about. I want to know what he's done, what he's been through. And you don't see that anymore. That's a dying breed. What you end up seeing now is just a bunch of pudgy faced dudes that have played it safe. And you can, whatever, fine. You can blame it on modernity. You can blame it on the system that kind of puts us into certain silos, right? And you could say that that's the truth, but the reality is people like to play it safe and they don't take risks. And look, and this is something that I keep in mind and I tell myself all the time, which is that what? Nature rewards not the curious, but the audacious, right? The ones that are willing to test themselves in uncertainty, right? And those types of things. Nature rewards the courageous. And so just be courageous. Understand that you will get rewarded. And even if that means that you fail, the lessons that it leaves, the scars that it leaves are what over time do make you into a man worthy of speaking to. And this is another thing too you have to keep in mind is plenty of people will despise you as a result of your being. And that's okay. If anything, that means that you've done well for yourself. Because if you're one of these scumbags that wants to be well liked by everybody, I just feel like you're really selling yourself short. You're sacrificing who you are to sort of appease to the masses. I don't really think that that's what you should do. I think if anything, you should live by your truth as you will, to take one from the liberal playbook, and be yourself. And plenty of people are not going to like you, but there's plenty of people that are going to appreciate and respect and love that version of you. So don't dim that light. This is, like I said, ultimately keep this in mind, all right? Nature rewards the courageous.